Hello students, welcome to a new topic of class 12 Pole Science Arts, and today's topic is European Union, and it's from chapter number 3, New Centers of Power. And we have earlier, related to this same chapter, we studied about the BRICS, BRICS, if you remember. So BRICS, then ASEAN, then SAARC, European Union are all from the same chapter. The difference is that this European Union, the topic, it's the old inclusion. That means this European Union was already in the syllabus, and the BRICS that we studied about was the newest inclusion. So today we will start European Union. Clear? As the Second World War came to an end, many of the Europe's leaders grappled with the question of Europe. Clear? After the Second World War, what happened to Europe? Many of the western part of Europe came under the alliance with Western, that means headed by US, and eastern part allied with whom? The Soviet Union. So there was a big question that as the Second World War came to an end in 1945, many of Europe's leaders grappled with the question of Europe. Should Europe be allowed to revert to its old rivalries or be reconstructed on principles and institutions that would contribute to a positive conception of international relations? That means what? The leaders of Europe were very tensed over these situations, that what to do with Europe. There were two options left, that either to go with the old rivalries or to create a new platform for themselves. That means either Europe, the option was, two options were left. One option was that they should either make alliance with some other countries, or second option was that they would start with a new beginning, by which they will have a strong international relations with other countries of the world. So the Second World War shattered many of the assumptions and structures on which the European states had based their relations. In 1945, the European states confronted the ruin of their economies and destruction of the assumptions and structures on which Europe had been founded. So after the result, that means when the World War II came to an end in 1945, it shattered what? It shattered all the assumptions. That means whatever the leaders were thinking of doing about Europe, the welfare and development they were thinking, these were all shattered. That means they were shaken by the result of 1945 World War II. So how was it shaken actually? It was shaken in terms of economy. The economy was ruined, that means almost finished, and the destruction of the assumptions and structures on which Europe had been founded. And whatever the structures on which Europe was founded actually, clear? Europe was known as a country, and on what structures it had been founded, that was also shaken, and after that its economy was also shattered, means finished. European integration after 1945 was aided by the Cold War. America extended massive financial help for reviving Europe's economy under what was called the Marshall Plan. And when the condition of Europe became like this, that means when the economy system of Europe collapsed, then who came for help? The United States of America. Clear? And America helped, extended massive financial help. That means what? America helped with the financial part, that means money, and it helped Europe to revive their economy. And whatever the economy was collapsed, America helped them with the money, financial help, and under that the Europe's economy was actually revived, and this was known as the Marshall Plan. So question might come, what do you mean by Marshall Plan? So you have to answer like this. When after the end of Second World War in 1945, the European economy was almost collapsed. So in order to revive that economy, uplift that economy, who came to help? America came to help, and it helped with what? With lots of money, for the reason that the country can revive its economy. And whatever the help that was given by America, financial help, that was only known as the Marshall Plan. Clear? The US also created a new collective security structure under NATO. Under the Marshall Plan, the Organization for European Economic Cooperation was established in 1948 to channel aid to the West European states. Clear? As we know that the Western Europe was with the Western Alliance headed by US. What was the reason? We will come to know now. So under Marshall Plan, it helped. After that, what it did, the US also created a new collective security structure under NATO. That means after helping, they created one new collective security structure under NATO. If you remember, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, they created one collective security structure. Under the Marshall Plan, the Organization for European Economic Cooperation was established in 1948 to channel aid to the West European states. That means what? After helping, they again formed what? Under the Marshall Plan, they again formed OEEC. That means European Economic Cooperation in the year 1948. For what reason they actually created this OEEC? With a view to give what? With a view to help the West European states. Clear? And you can easily understand why they were keen on giving help to the West European states, because all of the West Europe was with whom? The US. That's why it was interested in helping them. It became a forum where the Western European states began to cooperate on trade and economic issues. After getting this help, that means after the West European countries, as they got help from the US through OEEC, that means European Organization for European Economic Cooperation, under this they got help. After that, the West European countries started cooperating on trade and economic issues also. Now after getting so much of help, they started building a relationship, and under that relationship they started doing trade also, and they discussed about economic issues also under that channel. The Council of Europe, established in 1949, was another step forward in political cooperation. Clear? OEEC was meant for economic cooperation. Now that was in the year 1948. Then 1 year after, again the Council of Europe was established in 1949, and this was for what? This was for political cooperation. That means cooperation in the political field, and the earlier one was cooperation in the economic field. The process of economic integration of European capitalist countries proceeded step by step. Clear? And here it is written that see timeline of European integration leading to the formality of European Economic Community in 1957. This we will study later. So, after forming the Council of Europe, the process of economic integration step by step lead to what? The formation of European Economic Community. That means what? One after other, the US was forming a community. First it was OEEC, then after that the Council of Europe, and after again one new community was formed that was known as European Economic Community in 1957. And by the name itself you can say that it was meant for economic development. This process required a political dimension with the creation of the European Parliament. And whatever this European Economic Community was formed in 1957, this required a what? This required a political dimension with the creation of European Parliament. The collapse of the Soviet bloc put Europe in a fast track and resulted in the establishment of European Union in 1992. So as we know that whole of the Europe was not with US, only the western part of the Europe was with US. But after the disintegration of Soviet Union, that means when the Soviet Union, the USSR was dissolved, disintegrated in 1991. Clear? We will study this elaborately. One chapter is there, and the topic would be disintegration of Soviet Union. In that we will come to know how did it disintegrate. The whole story is there. But related to this point, as we know that the Eastern Europe was with whom? With the Soviet Union. So when Soviet Union disintegrated in the year 1991, then what happened? The collapse of the Soviet bloc put what? Here it is written Europe, but we can say that Europe also, and related to that, basically the East Europe was totally shaken by that, and that resulted in what? Establishment of the European Union in 1992. So finally European Union came into being in the year 1992. And what was the reason? The main reason you can write is when the disintegration of Soviet Union actually happened in 1991. So 1 year after, that means in 1992, European Union, the establishment of, or the European Union was established then. Clear? When the Soviet Union disintegrated actually. After that, the foundation was thus laid for the common foreign and security policy. So up to here we have read what? How the European Union's leader was thinking about Europe's leader were thinking about Europe, how to make it develop. So after that, the result, what happened? Through the World War, its economy was collapsed. Then America came for the financial help, and under this help they called this help as the Marshall Plan. They again formed one organization, that was Organization for European Economic Cooperation, OEEC, in 1948, to help especially the Western European countries, as they were the alliances of the US. After that, again the Council of Europe was established in 1949. This was meant for political cooperation. Clear? After that, again in 1957, European Economic Community was formed. So finally you can see that America or the US had taken a good hold over a part of Europe, that means a big part of Europe. So after this, when the European Union actually came into being, that came into being when the Soviet Union was disintegrated, that means it disintegrated or dissolved in the year 1991. Then the European Union came into being in the year 1992, 1 year after the disintegration of Soviet Union. So when European Union was formed, what was being decided? After the formation of European Union, it was decided that it would have a common foreign and security policy. That means it would have a common policy of common foreign policy also and security policy also. Along with that, cooperation on justice and home affairs, and the creation of a single currency. So these things were being thought when European Union was founded. Number one was what? Common foreign policy would be there under European Union. Then security policy will be there, number 2. Then there will be cooperation on justice and home affairs, number 3, and creation of a single currency. Here, to make you understand more easily, single currency means, as you know, the currency is what? Euro, EURO. That was basically for the European Union. How many countries are there? They will have a common currency, that is Euro. So clear? With these aims and visions, they started established actually the European Union. Clear? After that, The European Union has evolved over time from an economic union to an increasingly political one. So earlier it was what? An economic union that would give boost to what? Financial transactions and economic development. It will look after economic development. But now, as it was firstly an economic union, it now has turned to a political one. That means politically also it has become that much strong. The EU has started to act more as a nation state. Now you can tell that earlier it was an organization. Now it has started acting like what? Nation states. That means one powerful nation, country, you can tell. If we talked about European Union, now people don't tell that European Union is an organization. Everyone will tell what? It is a powerful nation, country or nation state. While the attempts to have a constitution for the EU have failed, that means what? The aim was also there that the European Union will have its own constitution, but that was not successful. Or you can say that no separate constitution is there for the European Union. It has failed. It has its own flag, but what it has actually? It does not have its own constitution, but apart from that it has its own flag. That means whom? European Union has its own flag, it has its own anthem, it has the founding date, that means 1992 year, and currency. Clear? These four things it has. Question might come, what does the European Union have? It doesn't have the constitution, but it has what? Number 1 flag, number 2 national anthem, then number 3 the founding date, and number 4 currency. This the European Union has got actually. It also has some form of a common foreign and security policy in its dealings with other nations. As we have studied earlier that it will run on what? A common foreign policy it will have, and a common security policy. So it is following that only, according to which what will happen? When it will deal with other countries, it will follow this common foreign and security policy. Clear? While dealing with the other countries. So we will wind up today here only, as the topic is vast and this European Union will again be further. We will read about this in the next class. So regarding European Union, to revise you, we have started with the story, how was actually Europe turned into an European Union. We have read about Marshall Plan, then we have come to know about OAEC, why it was established. Then again the Council of Europe was established in the year 1949 for a reason. After that again European Economic Community was established. After that the disintegration of Soviet Union occurred in 1991, and in 1992 European Union came into being with a vision of what? Common foreign and security policy. Then it will give cooperation on justice and home affairs and creation of a single currency, that is euro. After that the last para that we read about was it will evolve from time to time, and it has changed from economic union to an increasingly political one. That means what? The European Union has become more and more powerful. Nowadays the other countries assume European Union as a strong nation country. Clear? Under which the European Union doesn't have its constitution. It has failed after trying so many times, but it has its own flag, anthem, then founding date is there, and currency. Clear? And whatever the dealings they will do with other countries, they will follow what? The first aim and vision they were, while establishing European Union, they had discussed about this. They will follow these only. That means common foreign policy and security policy whenever it will deal with other countries. Clear? So I hope that whatever the points are discussed today, it's now very much clear regarding European Union. With this I will wind up today's topic. Thank you.